7 years later, at the Baskerville training grounds, a huge furry beast with horns is growling wildly. It roars out loud, shaking the air around it. But the Hound stood still, unafraid of it. It rushes towards them, making the Hounds leap in the air, striking the monster. The Hounds surround the beast as the beast strikes all of them. Staffordshire Baskerville was the Shadow Hound looking upon them. He shouts out commands and tips on how to kill the beast. When all of a sudden 3 hounds dash forward past everyone, it was the triplets. They strike the beast easily. They smile happily at what they did. The intruder was amazed at their skills and dark crimson aura, which was suited to the Baskerville family. As the monster stood in a daze from their attacks, the hounds see the chance and prepare to kill it. Blood is splattered all over the ground. The instructor praises them, telling them that they had become low-rank sword experts and that this marks the end of their 7-year training. He warns that while this monster was caged, even he cannot handle the older ones, that were more tenacious, and that the monster they face today will be incomparable to the ones they will face in real life, and that the death occurs much more easily than they think. He gave them one final advice, that their user bloodline to overcome it or build experience to survive. He salutes them, congratulating them on their graduation, and wishes them good luck in the future. The graduates discuss amongst themselves on which order of the Baskerville they wanted to join, as the family had 7. Each of the order represented a different job, from watching, searching, guarding, assassinating, suppressing all-out warfare, and others. But they soon wonder about a certain someone and what he would join. It was the MC Van Baskerville. The MC notices that others were looking at him, hearing the rumors that he had killed the larger Oxbeard than the one they faced, and that he was already a high-rank sword expert. He ignores the gossip and thinks that it took longer than he thought. His current level was an intermediate rank at the 5th Baskerville technique, but only considering swordsmanship, he had surpassed this past self, but he still thinks his progress was too slow, as Barrymore appears, telling him that the Patriarch was looking for him. Barrymore tells him that his assignment had been decided. Back at Hugo's room, the MC greets him. He asks how he had been. The MC notices a scar on his nose, asks what had happened. Hugo tells him he got it from subjugating the barbarians on the mountains, and that one of the archers got the better of him. The MC asks if he had captured them. Hugo tells him no. Instead, he gave a similar scar her face. Hugo congratulates the MC as he wonders if he was going to talk about the assignment. He recalls his past life, that there was part of the Pitbull Order, and was sent away for 21 months on the Lineware Mountain, constantly in battle, and that children in the family were split apart. Expendable ones were sent to die in battle, while the important one were taught about politics and administration. That was why the 5th technique exists. It allows for the elite members to catch up to the expendable ones in terms of swordsmanship. Hugo calls out to the MC, telling him to try the lower house of Parliament, which surprises him. Hugo explains that the lower house was to teach him about the politics and business of the Baskerville family. The MC couldn't believe that Hugo wanted him to take the elite course. He praises the MC for his achievements and that he was a genius, and then his position will be the deputy counsel of the underdog city, as both consul and deputy consul positions were vacant. He asks if the MC will accept. He accepts, but says he has to mention one thing. The MC talks about the incident with the Morgue clan over the ruby mines, and he requests to borrow something as part of his reward. This shocks Barrymore. He tells Hugo if that his request was too much, he could deny it. But Hugo allow it and say he trusts him, and that he would not do anything foolish. The MC tells him he won't do anything to worry him, still not comfortable with him calling the MC a son, as the MC leave the room. Barrymore tells something to the MC that Hugo treasures him deeply, and that was why he did not dispatch him into battle immediately, and that this was a form of kindship between them. But Vakir tells him that only happens if he does a good job. He recalls his past memories where he was betrayed and killed by Hugo, feeling the sensation of when his head had rolled off the guillotine with deep hatred in his eyes. The MC promises that Hugo will experience the same sensation in this life. At the Baskerville territory called Underdog, we arrive at a beautiful mansion. A bald man is telling a pair of servants that the mansion in area has to be squeaky clean by tomorrow, as the new deputy consult from the Baskerville family will be coming. A servant wonders what kind of person the new deputy would be and hopes that the person would be experienced in business. The servants continue to talk as the MC walks by, catching their attention. The servant grabs Vakir's shoulder, wondering whose kid this belongs to. While telling the MC this was a place you can't just enter, the MC looks at him and tells him to remove his hand in instant. He reveals a piece of paper to the servants, making them realize that he was the new deputy. The MC tells them to prepare women and drinks to have a party right now. As he enters the building, the servants looked at him, confused about the party drinks and food. Are seen along with various people drinking and laughing. A man is staring at this scene in disbelief. His name is Chihuahua Baskerville. He was the general secretary of the city of the underdog and was very upset right now. He stares out the window, wondering how ridiculous the MC was to drink and party on the first day of his assigned job. This was because of the previous deputy who caused him to have a hard time due to the bribes, and now he's holding a party at the workplace. He finally shouts out that the MC was a troublemaker, and that only once the city was in ruins he will get it together. But the MC appears behind him, asking if he was the General Secretary Chihuahua. Wonders when Vakir entered the room as they both introduced themselves to one another. The MC notices something about Chihuahua's name, that he had no middle name. Chihuahua was stunned, as he knows that a lack of middle name signifies that he was outside from the family, and he was discriminated against because of this. But Vakir tells him that it was nice. This confuses him. The MC tells him that he had researched him beforehand and knew that he came from underdog, making me know all the ins and outs of the city. He tells Chihuahua that he knows how hard people like him had worked, and that he wouldn't interfere in his work and trust him to do a good job. Chihuahua wonders if this was a new form of harassment, and why the MC was here when he had asked for a party. The MC closes the book, stating that the personal loss had no issue, but the Judy Cow system had a lot of flaws. This shocked Chihuahua, as the MC read the book extremely fast. He speaks out about the problem was that Underdog had many illegal business owners who were successful making the underground hold power above the law, but stopping the illegal businesses itself won't solve. The problem heads of the underground businesses needs to be removed. Hearing this, Chihuahua just remains silent. The MC continues on as he stares out the window, saying that the job of the deputy council is to make laws and execute them, and then he respects the laws already in place, but wanted to add a new law. Chihuahua asks him why he needed a new law, and the MC replies that he will destroy the underground economy in a week and needed a cause to make and execute this law since he was still young in a newly appointed deputy council. He needs a certain type of performance to make it more convincing. To put it differently, I will lay out the poop for the flies. Chihuahua stares at him, wondering what he plans to do in the city. The next day at the Underdog's downtown Dort Smile Street, a crowd was gathered as the MC stands in front of them, dressed well. The servants and Chihuahua stand behind him, wondering what the MC was planning to do, as he had been standing there since the crack of dawn. The MC announces himself to the crowd as the newly appointed deputy council, as the crowd wonders what a young kid can do. He tells them about the notice behind him, and that the laws have been in place for a while, and that even if the deputy changes, the laws will continue to be upheld. The crowd doesn't believe him, thinking that the higher-ups won't do anything, and that he was going to be lobbied pretty soon. Chihuahua yells out at them to mind their manners. As the MC was from the main Baskerville family, the MC remains silent as the crowd continues to mock him. He grips the stick hard in his hand and raises it up high, grabbing the attention of the crowd. He slams the stick straight into the ground with tremendous power. Everyone around couldn't believe what they saw. He lets go of the stick and announces a special with the authority of the Deputy Council. The MC Special Law Section 1 Class 1. He will reward 100 million hold to whoever removes the stick. Everyone around was still too stunned to speak. They all shout what into the air as the stick remains in the ground. Where else the crowd was talking about the reward. The MC calls out to them, asking if there was no one that wants to get the money, but still no one came out. So he increased the money amount. He tells them of increased amount of reward, but someone laughs as he speaks. A man from the crowd calls a ridiculous and that the MC wanted to make fun of them. The crowd agrees with the man and tells the MC to stop messing around and go to sleep. Chihuahua wonder why they were the ones embarrassed instead. The MC remains silent at their remarks. He asks them if there was still no one, and then decides to increase the amount of reward once again, telling them that whoever pulls up the stick, they will get the new reward. He looks at them, wondering if there is still no one. The crowd wonders what the hell was going on. And if this was a joke, they talk among themselves, wondering if they should do it. But they see a sword on the MC waist and wonder if they would get executed if he thinks they were being too greedy. They continue to wonder about the stick, if it was too heavy or if there was trick. The MC is disappointed that there was still no one while Chihuahua whispers to him. But the city didn't have that amount of money. A hand was raised in the crowd. A little girl with snot on her nose carrying a basket of flowers asks if she could try. A man tells her not to do it as she could be killed, but she tells him that her mother was sick and that she had to try something. She laughs and smiles, telling the crowd that if something happens to her, they should take good care of her mother. The old man had no words to say. She stands in front of the MC and the stick. She thinks that the MC might not kill her and that they would reward her with a few coins as she was volunteering to make herself. The MC tells her to pull it out as she hopes to be paid for a basket full of flowers. She bends down and holds the stick tightly, pulling with all her might. A surprised look came to her face as the stick came out. The crowd was surprised to see that it was done. The little girl holds the stick and looks up, wondering why she pulled it out easily. The MC releases a red aura and appears to be reaching for his sword. She tears up and closes her eyes, thinking that she would be executed, wondering what the reason was for her execution and who was going to look after her mother. But a bag appears in front of her. The MC kneels in front of her and tells her to take the bag of reward money. She holds the bag of money confused, and so is the crowd. He looks back at Chihuahua while asking her where her home was, and that the rest of the money will be sent along with a guard to protect it. He rubs her head while saying that the law must always be obeyed. Everyone was once again shocked to see this, as the bag reveals a bunch of gold coins, knowing that the laws will be upholded with the new deputy. The citizens were happy. Even crime rates were halved. The MC praises the handwriting of Chihuahua's as he wrote the Eastern language. Chihuahua tells him that he has never been touched since the past 20 years that he had worked here. The MC tells him that the stick was the idea to grab the attention of the citizens and to leave a lasting impression. Chihuahua vows to follow the MC for the rest of his days as the cure tells him to calm down. But the truth was Camus who was supposed to do this act in the future. But because of fear, the citizens never liked her. He rolls out a map saying that the problems are only just the beginning, and since they used up their money for the reward, they needed a way to get it back. He marks out spots that held illegal groups and where they might hide in the future, so as to confiscate their dirty money. Chihuahua looks at the map, wondering how he knew where the criminal businesses was. The MC tells him that he could smell it, but it was acutely because of his regression. Chihuahua thinks of him as a flawless man for investigating this much already. A man opens the door. The man informs them that the Young Autonomy Association has requested a meeting, which was what the MC had expected. Chihuahua explained to the MC that the group was made up of several clans, but was just the social club that the young masters were above the law and had something to say about the Vakir special law. The cure tells them that the dung flies have started to smell He shows a grin and tells them if they should start to annihilate the pests that are eating away at the city.